Hello, my dear viewers, and the rest of the listeners. Welcome for this presentation in which we are going to learn how to manage our finances. My name is Meme JM, or you can simply call me Emily Swap. Managing your finances. Money is a very important component or essential aspect of every person's life because it enables each individual to achieve most of the goals that he or she has formulated. It is for this reason that every person struggles each day to acquire money because all the activities that each person does daily require money. Therefore, due to the importance and value that each person attaches to money, many people do not like discussing about how much money they make from whatever that they do, or how much money they have saved, or how much money they spend in executing their tasks. In fact, the most common response from each person concerning his or her status of wealth accumulation in terms of money is, I don't have money. Usually, it is rare to find someone accept the fact that he or she has adequate money and does not need any more of it. That is why we all agree to the fact that money can never be adequate, even if one was given all the money in this world. Therefore, it is not the amount of money that one acquires that determines how successful and satisfied that he or she will be in life, but it is how prudent he or she is in utilizing that money that he or she has to meet his or her needs, save, and invest the remainder for the future. This is because whereas money cannot buy happiness, it can bring with it a sense of security if you know how to manage it correctly. In fact, if we use money smartly and intentionally, it has power to bring about our hopes, dreams, desires, and goals. You thus need to manage your money, regardless of how much it is, and regardless of its source, for your life to flow smoothly and be able to live within your income. Therefore, with effective money management, you are able to fulfill your purpose in life, be able to get most out of the money that you have at any time, be able to keep control of your cash, and be able to lead a life free of unnecessary debts. In addition, within good financial management, you are able to maintain good credibility status in the community, spend less time tracking your money flow, be aware of your financial capability so as not to indulge in activities that are beyond your financial capability, and be able to concentrate in accomplishing your purpose. Money management is therefore the process of working systematically through your financial situation in order to ensure that your finances do not get out of control. Even if you feel like your finances are stuck in a bad place with no way out, this video is going to help you with the practical ideas on what you can do to create a better situation for yourself. This is because the path to better finances starts with changing your own habits. And if you stay committed to this transformation, you end up with great money management skills that will serve you throughout your life and have more money in your pocket. The truth is that you do not need to be an expert in financial management or possess big investment portfolio to be financially secure. What you just need is to adjust your spending life by embracing and practicing the following habits, and with the practice, you will become a smart manager for your finances. Number one is having a money mindset. Nurturing a money mindset by always believing that you deserve money and receiving or reminding yourself daily that you deserve wealth regardless of the prevailing conditions or situation is key to one's financial maturity. Replace your negative mentality about money with a money mindset. Then look around where you are for the abundant resources and opportunities available for making money. Ask for any opportunity that you believe you deserve to make some extra income, including in your workplace or in your place of work, because if you wait for someone to assign it to you, another person may grab it. Number two is taking ownership of your money. Always take ownership of your money without letting other people control it for you. Whenever you acquire some money, figure out how you will spend that money without the need to please anyone. Always remember that your money is your money and nobody should ever force you or push you into spending it in a way that he or she wants. Therefore, you must always cut your coat according to your cloth. That is, never use your money to do something just because you have seen another person do it. You must therefore always live within your income. Always remember that you are fully responsible for your spending and that nobody should ever influence you to spend your money in a way that you had not planned. Always remember that your life is your life and it is totally in your hands. So, if you let other people influence you into spending your money for whatever reason, be ready to experience financial instability or crisis. Always let the money that you have determine your spending actions to be able to meet your needs without financial strain. Number three is setting smart financial goals. Always set specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and time-bound financial goals that you would like to accomplish with your finances. This is because with such goals or targets, you will always be focused on allocating your finances towards the attainment of these goals or targets. These goals will also enable you to know how much of your money you need to set aside for each goal and for how long. You can then categorize those goals in terms of their duration of attainment, either as short-term goals, medium-term goals, or long-term goals. It is advisable that you choose one target or goal for each category. If the long-term goals seem to be financially consuming, you can break them down into smaller but achievable targets. With these goals, you'll be motivated to budget, automate your savings, and keep away from debts. This can also enable you to commence implementing other plans such as saving for your retirement, putting in place an emergency fund, and putting in place investment accounts. As you set up these financial goals, remember to think of the obstacles that may hinder you from attaining these goals and come up with ways of overcoming them or tackling them in the case they arise. That is, you must always have a contingency plan. This can also enable you to commence implementing other plans, such as saving for your retirement, putting in place an emergency fund, and putting in place investment accounts. As you set up these financial goals, remember to think of the obstacles that may hinder you from attaining these goals and come up with ways of overcoming them, just as I have said, on what we call contingency plan. And I have said that this step is key. Why? Because it helps you to know the direction that your money will take once acquired. Number 4 is developing a budget. Never, and I repeat, never spend any of your money, regardless of how much little it is, or regardless of how much little it may seem, or regardless of how little it may seem, without having developed a budget for it. Always create a comprehensive budget indicating clearly every source of income and specific amount expected from each source for a certain period. This budget also includes all the expected expenses within the same period, inclusive of debt repayments and expected savings and investments. Remember, expected savings together with investments, those are also type of expenses. Why? Because this is money that you set aside for a specific purpose. You set it aside either as savings or you set it aside as investment. Budgeting is therefore key because it will help you to have enough money to help you do those things that you want while still saving for your future and accomplishing your daily goals or targets. It is advisable that you limit yourself to what we call the 50-30-20 rule. What does this rule state? This rule states that once you make some income, assign 50% of that income or of that money to payment of essential needs or what we call the living expenses. Then use that percent for discretionary items, that is, those things that you want. And then set 20% aside for savings and for repayment of debts. Never, ever let your expenses exceed your income. Therefore, always ensure that you have properly planned for all your money in terms of income and expenses before spending it on anything, regardless of how small or big it may seem, and always stick to your budget. Number 5 is minimizing unnecessary expenditures. Always strive to minimize on your expenditure by exercising some cost-cutting measures. Such measures include eliminating unnecessary costs from your budget, replacing the expensive items or services with less costly alternatives but that meets your requirements, prioritizing essential items while cutting back on non-essential ones, cooking more at home instead of eating in an hotel, using public transport instead of using a personal car, among such other cost-cutting measures. In addition, impasse buying or impasse spending of your money should be eradicated completely from your lifestyle if you have to set yourself free from financial stress. Therefore, even if you come across something that has attracted you, avoid the temptation to buy it if it is not a part of your budget or if it is not a part of what you had set out to purchase. In addition, always ensure that you do thorough window shopping in order to compare prices for whatever that you want before you make a decision on where to purchase it, and so that you can be able to get the best deal that can save you some money. Number 6 is minimizing on hidden cost transactions. It is good to adopt the modes of transactions that incur less costs and that do not impose huge hidden costs or charges. For this reason, it is always good to pay your bills on time in order to curb payment of fines and other charges that may be incurred due to late payments, and using modes of payments that incur less cost. This is because it would be better to save that extra coin that would have been incurred or taken through fines that result from late payments, or for making payments using means that would incur more costs than others. In addition, in order to be safe from making late payment on bills, such as electricity, water, hospital, amongst others, you can set such bills to be being paid automatically from your account once the remission date is due. You also need to be careful when executing several transactions online from the same account at the same time, because some of such transactions might be cumulatively expensive. For example, if you make several withdrawals at the same time, the cumulative costs might be higher than if you made a single cash withdrawal. In addition, you should always count the costs of performing online transactions. This is because some of such transactions might be more expensive than doing the transactions physically using cash. For example, you might incur more money while making several payments online than making those similar payments in cash, just as I have said. Therefore, in whatever that you do, whether online or physical, always count the cost for each and pick the alternative that will make you incur lesser costs, because by so doing, you'll have saved some money. Usually, if you make payments or purchases using debit card, you may be tempted to purchase what you don't need, and the process is also expensive than using cash. Therefore, it is good to use cash to make payments because it helps you control your spending. Therefore, when you go shopping, it is good to take only the cash that you can afford to spend and leave your debit card at home so that you can only spend what you have. Number 7 is avoiding peer pressure in spending. Never, and I repeat, never indulge in spending even a single cent to purchase or acquire anything out of peer pressure. Therefore, you should never compete with anyone to do anything or to be like him or her if, by doing such, you would have to send your personal money. I repeat, you should never compete with anyone to do anything or to be like him or her, because by doing so, you will have to spend your personal money. Always note that you are fully responsible for your income and expenditure, and you may never know the source of income for the other person. It is financial immaturity to use your money to do something or purchase something just because you have seen another person do it or with it. For this reason, you must always be very careful about some of the things that you do with your money or activities that you put most of your money into, or those things that make you take huge loans to acquire them, because they may drill your financial independence and even put you into financial distress. For example, you should never buy a personal car, whether on cash or on credit, if you cannot afford to pay for its fuel and maintenance just because you have seen others driving, or just because you have seen your friend with a new car. Therefore, with every large purchase, whether in cash or through a credit, always consider whether you really need it. Number 8 is tracking your expenditure regularly. Reviewing and tracking your spending after a certain duration, such as a day, a week, or a month is also key so that you can be able to know where your money goes and how your spending pattern looks like. You can track your spending by always keeping a record of your expenditures, for example, in a notebook, a spreadsheet program in your computer, or even using an app in your computer. Never spend any money and fail to record it. That is why it is advisable to always stick to your budget and also always walk around with someone to record your expenditure immediately you have incurred it, or even do the recording of your daily expenses each day before you sleep. Then, based on your observation, you can readjust your spending accordingly in order to stay on track of your budget and maximize on your savings and investment without depriving yourself your basic needs. Tracking your spending is key because it will always help you to avoid overspending and therefore help you stay within your budget. It is always good to understand your spending habits by categorizing your expenses, for example, as debts, entertainment, food, house, savings, transport, utilities or bill, insurance, healthcare, clothes, amongst others, and then take the necessary actions in order to maximize on your savings. Number 9 is to grow your saving account continuously. Always remember to put 20% of your money into a savings account whenever you acquire any monies. Always treat your savings as a mandatory requirement every time you get hold of any money. To make it easier to manage your money, you can have bank accounts for various tasks such as checking, saving, and investment accounts. This will enable you to separate your spending and your investment funds. In addition, in order to automate your savings, you can authorize your bank to be executing an automatic transfer between your checking and savings accounts so that a portion of every paycheck goes directly into a savings account. Never spend any money and fail to award yourself or pay yourself by putting some of that money into your savings account. As you commence the journey towards accomplishing your saving goals, you can start with amounts that are easily reachable to you. And then as you continue, you can increase the amounts as you progress. If you have a problem with saving, you can liaise with your employer and request him or her to be deducting automatically the money you want to save from your paycheck and deposit it to your savings account. As you save, you can decide to have accounts into which you can save for a specific purpose, such as buying a car, to build a house, to educate children, amongst the others. Number 10 is to set realistic goals for your savings. Always set realistic and clear goals that you want to achieve through the savings that you are making and the specific amounts of money that you need to save each month for each of the targets so that you can be able to reach each target by the set time frame. This should be done by writing down all the things that you want to save for and then working on the amount of money that you need to save for each every month. Then, once you acquire some money anytime and every time, you allocate each goal or each target some amount from the 20% that you are setting aside for savings. However, if you are not able to accomplish the set target due to an avoidable financial obligation, You can still extend the timeline for achieving it or supplement the required finances through some side hustles. Number 11 is to build your savings for emergencies. Always build an emergency fund for yourself by always making sure that regardless of whatever that you do with your money, whether you are investing, you are purchasing something, or you are lending the money to someone, you always keep some of that amount of money for an unexpected eventuality or for emergency. Do not put yourself in a situation where you have to rely on credit for unexpected expenses. Therefore, always have some money kept aside or kept somewhere safe that you can rush to anytime in the case of an emergency. My dear viewers and the rest of the listeners, kindly note, there's a difference between saving for an emergency and your ordinary saving. Saving for emergency is putting money aside to be only used for an emergency. Therefore, you need to always save some money in an emergency account that can be used to deal with only unplanned eventualities or emergencies that may arise that were not even planned for, such as sickness. You can keep such money in a bank account that is easily withdrawable and accessible anytime an eventuality occurs that cannot be ignored. However, you need to develop high level of discipline in order to avoid using such money to cater for needs that are not emergencies. Number 12 is to save for your retirement. Saving for your retirement is also a vital requirement towards financial freedom and security. In order to minimize your financial anxiety as you age, it is important that you start saving for your retirement. This can be done either by liaising with your employer to be deducting directly some amount of money from your salary and remit it to your retirement scheme. Or you can initiate your own individual retirement account that you commit yourself to be contributing to till you retire. Or the third option is you can open a fixed non-withdrawable account with a reliable financial partner such as a bank or even an insurance institution into which you can be contributing to and only make that account accessible after you have retired. For this reason, you need to commence saving for your retirement as early as possible and as soon as now if you have not already begun this process. Number 13 is to create a stream of income. Creating a stream of income sources instead of relying on a single source of income is also key to financial security. Therefore, even if you are employed or you are self-employed, always make sure that you have several sources of income so that in case one of the sources lets you down or fails, you will still have another source of income. Some additional sources of income can include tasks such as freelancing, tutoring online, and offering other services online as discussed in the video by the title, How to Make Money Quickly Online by Emergencies that has already been posted in the YouTube channel by the name Emergencies ICT. Number 14 is to build a range of diverse investments. It is good to build a diverse range of investments instead of just relying on your income or on your savings. For this reason, it is important to ensure that even as you save for various reasons as discussed, you also use some of your money as investment in a number of stocks or securities. Engaging in multiple investment opportunities can help you manage risks of losing your investment or income in case a single venture fails. Some of such investments or assets include stocks, venture capital, bonds, private equity, real estate, amongst others. You can also open an account in financial institutions that offer the power of compound interest, such as high-yield savings accounts, short-term certificate of deposit or CD, or money market accounts. Therefore, if you have to open a bank account to serve as an investment or an investment opportunity, go for one that works with the compound interest, because such an account will supercharge your savings over time. Always liaise with your financial institutions to know their terms and conditions for CDs and the money market accounts so that you can use them as investment options for your money instead of just keeping your money idle in accounts that may not gain you adequate interest. You can also invest in shares, such as in a circle, and be capitalizing your dividends in order to grow your savings faster. Therefore, even if your ability to invest is limited, start making small contributions to investment accounts so that you can use your earned money to generate more income. Number 15 is to avoid debts as much as possible. Always endeavor to lead a life without debts, and if you owe anyone, strive to get out of such debts. In fact, debts are like a plague that you must strive to run away from. It is therefore fulfilling to get out of debt and stay out of debt. This is because getting out of debt and managing debt gives you a peace of mind and alleviates financial stress. In fact, accumulating debt deprives you of your happiness and increases your financial anxiety because you lead a life of bondage and are always at the mercy of your lender. For this reason, do not be an individual that owes others money to the last penny, regardless of the kind of work that you do or that you may want to do with that money. Whereas it is okay to take some debts for investment purpose with the surety that such money will earn you some extra income, you need to be very cautious in the way that you handle your debts. If you can pay all your debts and lead a debt-free life, that will be a great step to financial freedom. However, there is nothing wrong with taking debts for investment purposes for as long as you are able to pay them off within the stipulated time. However, note, when you take debts to invest, that is also a risk by itself, because if anything goes wrong with the investment and you have already taken the debt, you'll still be forced to clear the debts. This is because paying off your debts helps you manage your finances and other money-related stresses. If you have several debts, it is always good to start the journey of paying them off, starting with the debt that accrues the highest interest rate, so that it can enable you to have extra funds to pay off the next level of debt in your list. Therefore, do not be an individual that owes others money all the way to the last penny, regardless of the kind of work that you may want to do with it. Whereas it is okay, just as I have said, to take some debts for investment purposes with the surety that such money will earn you some extra income, you need to be cautious in the way you handle your debts. My dear viewers and the rest of the listeners, I'm repeating and repeating this fact about debts because whereas many people enjoy having money or getting money in form of debts, that is like living in slavery. And the faster you release yourself from such kind of a situation, the better. Because even if you have money in your hands, but you owe some people the same money, simply it means that that money is not yours. If you can pay all your debts and lead a debt-free life, that will be a great step to financial freedom. However, just as I've said, there is nothing wrong with taking debts for investment purpose for as long as you are able to pay them off within the stipulated time. This is because paying off your debts helps you manage your finances and other money-related stresses. If you have several debts, just as I have said, it is always good to clear them off. And just as I've said, begin with that debt that accrues the highest amount of money. And then move on and clear the next level of debt in your list. It is also advisable that you consolidate all your debts into one type of bank account or a secure line of credit so that it becomes easy to clear those debts together, and it also makes it easy because you are able to make payments for those debts using a single payment every month. In fact, if you have some money set aside, it will be wise to use that money to clear any outstanding debt in order to minimize on interests that such debts would accrue if they were repaid over a long duration. Number 16 is to strive to make payments in cash instead of on credit. It is always good to pay for your services and goods with cash instead of on credit unless it is an emergency. So, if you can wait and save money to pay for what you want in cash, that would be much better than purchasing it on credit. This is because purchasing on credit would accrue interest, thus depriving you of that extra coin that you will be using to repay the good or the service that you have gotten at an interest. If you use a credit card to make your payments, always strive to keep your balance well below the limit of the card. Always pay attention to the ratio of how much debt you currently have to how much you can borrow. This number should always be below 30% so that it does not negatively affect your credit score. In fact, you must limit your credit card purchases. This is because credit cards are your worst financial enemies, for they make you a lousy spender. It is therefore important to stop purchasing things that you cannot afford, and especially those that you do not need, because they are the ones that make you use a credit card. In addition, whereas you may have several opportunities to take loans or borrow money, you need to borrow smart. Therefore, the key to financial security is to borrow only what you truly need and what cannot wait. For this reason, your goal to borrow should always be to borrow as little as possible to meet your goal so that you can have more money for other goals. Number 17 is to avoid unnecessary recurring charges. This is another area that has been stealing money from you without your knowledge. Sometimes you might have subscribed to services that you do not need or that you do not use, and these deduct you some money automatically after a certain period of time, even without your knowledge. Sometimes you might even forget, that you had subscribed to some of such services, yet you continue to be deducted. For example, through your mobile phones or within your bank, thus leading to a continuous deduction. It is thus easy to forget about monthly subscriptions to streaming services and mobile apps that charge your bank account, even when you do not regularly use these services. It is therefore important that you review your spending charges like those and consider canceling any unnecessary subscriptions to hold on to more money each month. Also, check with your mobile provider for any subscriptions that you might have made and that you don't use so that you can terminate them. Number 18 is to sell what you do not need at the moment. Avoid the temptation of keeping for long things that you do not need and avoid purchasing items that you do not urgently need. This is because if you use your money to purchase something now that you will use in the next 1 year, its value and quality will have deteriorated by then, and it may not serve you as you would like it to do. After all, another much better item to perform the same purpose might have come by then, and yours might have become outdated and unusable. For this reason, if you find out at any time that there are items you have that you no longer need or that might get outdated with the time before you use them, it is advisable that you sell them and convert them into cash. Avoid always the temptation to purchase items for future use, especially if those items get outdated very fast or those whose technology changes rapidly. Therefore, instead of using your money to purchase such items for storage purposes, it is advisable to save that money and purchase such items once you are ready to use them. So, look around your house or wherever you are to see those items that you no longer need or those things that may get outdated soon without even having been used and sell them before it's too late. If you do not know who to buy the items for you or from you, just take them to the nearby market or advertise them in a social media platform or in the second-hand sales websites. However, if you do not want to sell them, you can give them out. You can donate them to someone that needs them urgently. Number 19 is to always monitor your tax levels for the transactions or for engagements you are involved in. Always monitor the tax levels for any income generating opportunities that you may get before you accept them or before you are engaged in such ventures. This is because whereas an offer may present to you with a very nice gross income, but with a high tax rate, such an opportunity might be worse than an opportunity with low gross income, but with low tax. Why? Because you are about to save better or more. For this reason, it is good to always compute your net income for any opportunity or undertaking before you accept or engage in it, so that you can always go for the offer or engage in an activity whose net income is higher. Number 20 is to have an insurance cover. It is financially prudent to safeguard your health and protect your wealth by taking the necessary and respective insurance covers. This is because in the case of any sickness, especially those sicknesses that may require huge sums of money, or in the case of fires or burglary or other eventualities. Such may deprive you of your hand-earned money or income. However, if you have an insurance cover for your health, disability, and for your properties, you will be insulated from incurring unnecessary expenses to cater for such eventualities in case they happen. Number 21 is learning how to manage your finances. Make sure that you keep on updating yourself with knowledge about the opportunities that exist in the financial world. You thus need to keep on learning about the tools and resources that you can take advantage of in order to make what you have work for you. This is possible by attending some financial empowerment trainings, reading financial books, and even seeking for savings advice from financial professionals and institutions. The more you know about your personal finances, the better. Therefore, as you gain new knowledge in relation to financial management, you adjust the way you have been managing your finances. Therefore, by staying informed about personal finance concepts, trends, and strategies, you will be more equipped with skills and knowledge to manage your resources effectively. Number 22 is seeking for financial advice and counseling. Seek for financial advice from a financial advisor if you feel that you are financially stressed and do not know where to begin in order to commence the journey to financial freedom and security. It is important that you always work with a financial advisor to get help on setting your financial goals, develop a customized financial plan, and prepare for your financial milestones. If you do not know of anyone that works as a financial advisor, you can walk to an accountant. Nearest financial institution such as a bank, a SACCO, or even an insurance agency or institution for advice. Stop struggling with your money by working with a financial advisor for the best way to financial security if you do not know how to manage your finances. You can also team up with someone with similar financial goals as yours so that you can keep each other on check. With such an accountability friend, you can be free to talk about your financial finances or personal finances and share your struggles along the way. For this reason, if you need to invest but you don't know how to do it or where to do it, or you are entangled in a debt that you don't know how to set yourself free from it, you can talk to a credit counselor, a certified financial planner, a banker, or even an insurance agent about it. In conclusion, whereas it is okay to feel stressed about money, what is more important is to know how to manage it. This is because reaching your financial goals usually takes time and requires some measure of consistency. It is thus always good to apply what you have learned. Change your mindset positively concerning management of finances and stick to your financial goals. It is never too late to commence the journey towards financial management or management of your finances, but it's life-threatening if you just lead a life of impulsive financial spending and impulse buying. Good management or good financial management is purely a matter of making good decisions in relation to your finances and setting up good systems to manage your operations. Always remember that managing finances is a continuous process and a journey that requires discipline and consistency. Therefore, by commencing to implement the tips in this video, you will have embarked on a journey towards achieving financial stability, financial security, and building a prosperous future. Congratulations for listening to this video on how to manage your finances. To easily access more life skills, motivational and inspirational resources from this Emily Swap Life Skills YouTube channel, click on subscribe button below this video if it's not currently reading as subscribed. For any further suggestions, corrections or queries in relation to this video and others posted in this YouTube channel, feel free to write it to us through the email emilyswap@gmail.com. Thank you very much for listening to me. May you walk the journey towards your financial freedom by implementing the tips in this video, and may God greatly bless you.